All right, good morning, y'all. Back again with another car video. Bulls lose last night to Phoenix. To be honest with you, I ain't even get to watch the game. I was out. I had stuff going on. I didn't even get in until after the game was over. But yeah. But anyways, thanks to some of the people that I follow, I kind of got like the overall premise of the game. And I mean, it's just agenda fuel right now. I mean, Phoenix puts up over 120 points. Like that's pretty much been that's been the thing. Over 120 points. Like you play the Bulls, even if you're a shit team, you're gonna put up over like at least 115. But if you're a good team, you're at least gonna put up like 125. Like guaranteed. Guarantee. And all of this is on the backbone of the Ayo should start over Zotape. Which, by the way, if you guys are looking, and I made this post yesterday, or this tweet yesterday on Twitter, I ain't heard a single peep out of the Ayo over Zo crowd. It all disappeared. Ayo had 2 consecutive bad games now, and I don't see any of this same energy. So, for all these Ayo over Zo people, I need that same fucking energy. I need it. Because y'all was talking some good ass shit the past couple games, the past like week and a half, right? And I think you guys forget how good Zo really fucking is out there. Oh, by the way, have you noticed Ayo is doing the same things schematically that they have Zo do that people complain about? Why am I not getting the same energy from the Ayo fans for the people that were frustrated with Zo? I mean, my God, he's standing around in the corner now too, watching the air get dribbled out the ball. I mean, what's up? People like, oh, I want Zo to do more. I've been trying to tell y'all, this ain't all on Zo. This is the scheme, man. This is the fucking scheme. Because they're going to this is how the NBA works, right? Especially right now. They don't want a point guard dribbling the ball up the court unless that point guard can fucking put up a bunch of points. Think about it like this. Luka, Trey, Steph, and even with Steph, they want him playing off ball because it takes advantage of his most dangerous weapon, which is shooting. Kind of almost makes you wonder why they don't run plays for Zo like that, but yet Matt Thomas, anyway, I ain't gonna go there. But, all these scoring guards get the ball. They're allowed to bring the ball up the court, dominate the ball. So, they use his shooting for the spacing that it provides, and it does provide space. It does have gravity, and obviously he's going to defend at the highest level. So you might be like, "Oh, he's a 3D." Kinda. If you notice, the offensive sets that they're running, like the looks that they're getting, they haven't been getting a bunch of great looks. Have not been getting a bunch of great looks. And part of that is because of Zo and Caruso. And yes, I got to throw Caruso in there too, because I don't want the narrative to only be about Zo, because Caruso is definitely important to what they do. Without those guys out there actually dictating and commanding the offense does not look as good. And even when it was just ISO ball, it still at least looked a little bit better than it has. But this is where we're at, people. And this pisses me off to the highest power because we're watching a team literally not play defense. I mean, they're playing some level of defense because they're 25 out of 30 teams. But they fucking suck. Stats were posted yesterday that showed with Caruso, they were ranked 12th defensively. Now, that number's a little bit misleading because they were actually ranked a little bit higher when everybody was healthy. When people started going out with COVID, it slipped a little. They were as high as top 5 at one point. Like in the first 20 or so games of the season, they were like top 5 defensively and offensively. When people started going out, by that time they were like number 12. And Caruso had missed some time too by then. Now, without Caruso, this team is 25th defensively. 25th in defensive rating as well. That is a huge drop-off. Huge drop-off, and you can see it. You can see it. And the only reason they look not as, the only reason they don't look 30 is because they have Ayo, because they have Troy Brown, because they have Javonte Green. That's the only reason they don't look even worse right now. Only reason. Vooch can't defend a damn thing. Rosie don't even try to defend. And Zach is hobbled. Even without Zach hobbled, Zach wasn't playing that big a defense anyway. It was always Zoe Caruso take the top 2 threats. Zach gets the 3rd guy, and DeRozan gets the 4th guy. By doing that, you limit the detriment to Zach's defense because he's playing like the 3rd best offensive guy, which on most teams really isn't that good. And the 4th guy is usually like a spot-up shooter, so DeRozan really, his defense looks better due to the fact that he's only just he's dealing with spot-up shooters, so you don't have to move too much. He just, if they get the ball on the catch and shoot, he just has to close out on them. But really, he's just stationary, which makes him look like he's a much better defender than he is by the numbers. But now that that's not the case, and these guys have to go at him, hell no, he can't stay in front of his man. I've been saying this all year now. Terrible. Another stat came out yesterday. See, yeah, y'all about to get all my Zoe agenda today. Y'all about to get this shit. Another stat came out today. Because they're talking about De'Aaron Fox and how many points, on the defensive end he allows. It was like, in comparison, Zoe allows like 0.75 points per possession. Which, if you don't know, that's really fucking good. You don't even get a full point. You don't even get a full point. You get 3/4 of a point. And the numbers that was associated with this is Zoe is holding opposing, he's defending people, like the people he's defending against, they're shooting 33% when he's guarded by him. 33%. Let me break this down for y'all. And this is the way my mind thinks. And if you in my chat, you already know. I went over this yesterday. Zoe is giving you 13 points per game. If Zoe is defending you at a 33% clip, and let's just assume that a person is taking only threes, they are going to go 5 for 15 from the field to kind of like match Zoe's offensive output due to his defensive tenacity. Because if they did that, that means they have 15 points to Zoe's 13. But that means you're down 10 shots. So effectively, if for every 10, like for every 15 3-point shots taken, Zoe is giving you a minus 10 advantage. That's rebound opportunities. You can take this to the next level though. If it was all twos, we're talking 7 of 21. Or if you want to take it this way, we could say 6 of 18. And say that Zoe, because 12 points and 13 points is just a point. 14 and 13 is just a point. But that's the differential. Think about that. 6 of 18, that's the difference of 12. 7 of 21, that's the difference of 14. So every 2 that you take is in between a differential of 14 shots or 12 shots. So 10 for 3, 12, 14 for 2. All those rebound opportunities that the team gets to get. But people want to bench Zoe. For what reason? I don't know. Like, why would you want to bench that kind of productivity? He's already one of the top 3-point shooters in the league. He's shooting over 42%. Really shooting 43% if we round up. It's 42.9 if I'm not mistaken. So he's shooting 43% from 3. And he's giving you such an advantage on shooting, like defending shooting. Like, you really want that kind of productivity? Like, just from a 3 and D perspective, he's right there with Klay Thompson. Not in the sense that Klay can put up a lot more points, because obviously Klay had a lot more offense right there. But you're talking about a guy who is at the top of his craft at defending and one of the best 3-point shooters. We didn't even get into what, the passing. We didn't get into the blocks and steals and the things that those provide. And he's very close to averaging a block a game, which is oftentimes unheard of for a guard. Like, all of that stuff, that's too much value, and I don't get why there was this argument anyway for Ayo. I do get it. Hometown kid, he was drafted. I know people are happy for him. I know some people argue he's better in the half court. No, the only thing that I would say is Ayo has more offensive gravity attacking the basket, and therefore his dump off passes to Vooch lead to more open looks or attempts at the rim. But Vooch really don't run a pick and roll properly with Zoe. He just kind of camps out behind him and waits for the pass instead of actually like rolling to the rim like, say, Brooke Lopez used to do, Julius Randle used to do, JaVale McGee used to do, Jackson Hayes would do, Derek Favors would do, Big difference. Big difference. But y'all want that coming off the bench. I don't get it. Hell, Ayo is playing like a 3 and D role, kind of like it, similarly how they have Zoe playing. The only difference is he really don't call plays like Zoe does, because Zoe can at least will sit there and run the set. He will call out the set off ball. Ayo don't have that kind of like level of respect yet to do that thing. But what Ayo does have is he has the trust of his teammates, just like Zoe does. Like, they truly believe in Ayo, and everybody is starting to take notice of Ayo, which is good. I'm glad. Here's the thing I want to say. Unlike Nikhil, who has struggled, Ayo actually looks like, okay, he should have been that guy. He should have been a top 10 pick. If the draft was done over, he would have been a top 10 pick. So I don't want, like, again, I don't want this to be Ayo slander. Ayo can play. I like Ayo. But it is what it is, man. Now, the game the other day against the Pacers, I think it was. What's the Pacers? No, that was the 76ers. Okay. I don't hold that game against the Bulls because we literally only had DeRozan and Vooch. There was no Zach, no Kobe. Matt Thomas is getting 34 minutes. How, I don't know. But I don't hold that game against us, okay? And if anything, it just goes to show in a 7-game series, we might not beat Philly solely because of Embiid. But I want to shout out DeMar in that game because he took 30 shots. He hit 18 of them. He had over 40 points. That's what I want to see from him, like when all these guys are injured. Like in games like that, when guys are injured, I want to see him to do like that, yeah. Dominate the shots. Especially when y'all dominate the shots, because we need it. And honestly, if I'm going to be real, there's no reason to talk about anybody else on that team that night. Even Vooch. Vooch had the next best, like, stat line. But after that, it wasn't even close. Everybody else was so terrible. Like, it was frankly a miracle that the game was even as close as it was. But nobody else showed up to play. Everybody else was shit. Last night was a backcourt massacre. Those are the teams that you really need Zoe Caruso for. And I'm mad that we finally get to play Phoenix and neither of them are available. I'm not sure when the next Phoenix game is, but I'm not sure if they'll get to play Zoe Caruso by the time the season is over. Like that is a matchup I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see Zoe and Caruso versus that backcourt. I really wanted to see those two play. Like, I get up. Those are the games I look forward to watching the most because our two are the best defensive backcourt we got. I know people say, well, really Caruso played the power forward position. Nah, he's defending, the best guards along with Zoe. Or anyway, I should say the best guard in wing combo. But that's like, as far as post-game commentary analysis, those are the ones I want to see the most because that is very telling. And it shows what level we are at defensively with those two. Now, some interesting things came out yesterday. The Bulls sent a trade proposition for Jakob Poeltl. If you follow me on Twitter, I think Jakob would be a great pickup. My only issue is we still have Vooch. So he's like a starter level big who will be coming off the bench. And we're not going to move Vooch. So it's like, yes, we should get him, but he's not going to get much playing time. That's my thing. Well, let me not say much playing time, but his impact defensively will be minimized unless we're closing with him over Vooch. So the San Antonio Spurs rejected that trade proposition. They were sending a first to try to get Jakob, and I guess that was just they're trying to test the waters. Here's what I believe, right? I believe if you're gonna make that deal, you gotta send Kobe straight up. Me personally, I think Kobe and Jakob are around the same level. If you want to say Jakob is at a higher level, I'll take that. But to me, he's not at a high enough level where you need to be sending a bunch of guys and picks. Okay? He's not worth Kobe and a first. Kobe is still a first round talent. Kobe is still worth a first pick. You see what I'm saying? And so I wouldn't send a first. If I'm going to send some players, I would send Tony Bradley, and I would send Derrick Jones. Now, I won't send Troy Brown because the rumor was that we were trying to trade him for Dennis Schroeder. If we're trading Kobe to get Jakob Poeltl, we will then need a backup scorer off the bench. So that's where you do the Troy Brown for Dennis Schroeder trade. Now, if you can't get him or either one of them, I would be on the phone calling New Orleans trying to see if I could get Jackson Hayes. I would dangle Ayo in front of them. I'm not saying you're trading Ayo. That's not what I'm saying. But I would want to see where they're at or where their thinking is versus Ayo and Kobe. What I would want to do, because see, here's the thing. I wouldn't trade Kobe straight up for Jackson. I would need, if we're doing that, I'm sending Kobe, and you need to send me Jackson and either first, or you need to send me Jackson and some other player. That has to be the deal. Why do you want a first back? Because let's be real. The Portland first is shit. Because it'll keep passing down. And if it doesn't pass down by either, I think it's 2026 or 2028, it just becomes a second. I don't like that. That's a non-guarantee. And all the other first we have is this year's first. We don't have another one for like next year or something. So we need as many first as we could get because that's a good resource. That's a good tradable resource. So if I were going to trade Kobe to New Orleans for Jackson Hayes, yes, I need Jackson and one of those first you got. I need that. You're going to have to come up off one of them first. Because, and I know Jackson has been playing extremely well recently, but I still think the consensus is Kobe is over Jackson Hayes. However, if this shit keeps going, I'm not sure how long it'll last. Now, we're going to put that to the side. News came out that Tom Thibodeau did not want Cam Reddish. I'm not even sure if they could trade Cam right now because he's just not been playing. But this is one of those things where I'm like, why the fuck would you do this? Like, because y'all know Cam is one of the guys I wanted for this squad. And y'all know how I feel exactly how I feel because I've voiced this, for a while. But now he may be completely off the market. I don't know if you can trade for him now. I think once a guy's been traded, I don't think you could trade for him again in the same season like this. If so, someone let me know. Again, I'm not privy to that. But if there was some way we could go holler at New York and be like, all right, look, we'll give you Kobe for Cam. Do it. Do it. They need guard play. They really do, because Derrick Rose has been out. He's been hurt. Kemba has sucked. They need guard play. Go ahead and call that shit in. Julius Randle has been having issues. I'm not saying we need to go get Julius. I'm not saying we need to get Julius. But Julius has been having issues with New York, and it seems like the Knicks. And I think it's time for a change for him. They could be looking to make some drastic changes. And if they're going to make those kind of drastic changes, I think we need to be on the lookout because there's going to be some teams that are going to be making some moves. There's some people who have talked about Rudy Gobert. I would definitely trade Vooch for Rudy Gobert. People might be like, well, Vooch is a better scorer. They're both averaging about the same in points. Here's my thing. What you lose in the spacing that Vooch can provide, your defense is going to be top 5, if not the best, especially when you get Zoe and Caruso back, which is going to help alleviate the issues that DeMar gives you in the late game, which is going to elevate the defensive prowess of everybody else on the team. If you got Rudy, really what you need shooters or scorers. You got some shooters already. You need like another score. Well, you need some more shooting anyway. So that's not going to hurt. But you're going to need a little bit more. And for those that are like staunch Kobe fans, it could lead to you being able to keep Kobe because Kobe is one of those guys that can score and shoot a little bit. I would personally like to see Rudy in that, center position, making teams have to actually take longer shots. You got to take longer shots. Caruso and Zoe become even better defenders. Like the defensive combination of those three would be insane. And he can run a pick and roll with either one of them, and Zoe or Caruso can find him for easy lob dunks. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. I still think you need a little bit more shooting around him. I don't like the DeMar pairing with them necessarily. But, hey, DeMar's not supposed to be that long term anyway. So maybe that could be reason to move off of DeMar while his value is high and go get better pieces that fit. Cleveland got Caris LeVert. I think that's a very solid pickup for them. I've been on the record this year saying so far that I think B.I. should go to Indiana. I've also mentioned Cleveland. I'm starting to see people say they need to push all their chips in to go get B.I. I agree. You go get B.I., this team's window is 10 years. And B.I. fits. B.I. fits perfectly. Now, they're still going to need some other parts, I think. They're still about 2 or 3 years away in my eyes. But you get B.I., you instantly enter a dangerous, contentious territory. Like, teams are going to have to be on guard against them. Not just that, you still got Colin Sexton, who's a free agent. And you're going to get parts back when you trade him. That's the other thing. And so, Cleveland, for all intents and purposes, they're not done. They're a team to watch out for. With all this being said, though, I struggle to think that we'll actually beat any team in the first round at this point. And I know Pat Will's supposed to come back. We'll see how that works with Zoe and Caruso and the rest. But I'm really struggling to see how we beat any of these teams going forward, especially if they're about to start ascending in power. And with Brooklyn and Philly allegedly talking again, that could make Philly even better than us if they get James Harden. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you think. Tell me you hate my opinion. Doesn't matter. It does matter, but I hope y'all have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. Peace.